Right, so my name's Gavin Bailey. I'm the UK Head of Business Development at Aimsun, and I'm going to talk to you about traffic digital twins and take you through a few examples of digital twin deployments that we've actually been responsible for in the UK and internationally. So traffic digital twins are accurate digital replicas of the road, pedestrian and cycling environments. They're connected to real-world sensors, such as automatic traffic counters. These may be what are called scooped or mover induction loops. So these are loops which measure traffic flow going over them in the road, or using computer vision-based traffic detection, such as dedicated cameras or CCTV networks. We can also work with floating car data for mobile phones and in-car devices, but that data tends to be less available, or in some cases a little bit too expensive to use. So the detectors that we use in the real world, they provide live flow information for traffic passing over them, so that the digital twin can simulate traffic within the digital environment. So in most cases, traffic networks worldwide use in-road induction loop systems, which are relatively pervasive. They're typically deployed to assist in traffic management on highways and intelligent signalized junction timings for particularly in urban networks. The real-world data enables the digital twin to accurately simulate near real-time, real-world traffic conditions. We say near real-time because in reality there's some time that passes between the detection of traffic and then the communication of that data to the digital twin. And this enables for improved situational awareness of current and future network states, future being kind of predicted traffic conditions up to an hour into the future, allowing for reactive and proactive network management. The digital twin can assist traffic managers with decision support by rapidly simulating traffic management strategies and assessing those against pre-established KPIs. These strategies can then be communicated to human traffic managers or to urban traffic management systems for automated implementation in the real world. So that's connecting to another digital twin, being the urban traffic management systems. So at Aimsun, we've been responsible for a number of digital twin deployments internationally for the purposes of incident detection and improved situational awareness for network traffic states. Here we deployed a system in Florida, USA. This predictively simulates the effectiveness of congestion mitigation plans at a regional level. So what happens is it detects incidents due to traffic flow anomalies. This may be a drop in traffic flow between an upstream and a downstream detector on a link, or it could be the identification of a flow anomaly comparing live flow against expected historical trend data. The system then supports operators in developing proactive and on-demand response plans for the network, evaluated against current and also predicted conditions, again up to an hour in advance, reviewing the health or the performance of these strategies against pre-established KPIs. So here you can see it shows the effectiveness of the response plan using kind of visual information to assist the operators in their decisions. Here we've got a demonstration or a system map of our bus reliability improvement tool. So we're currently working with 2 local authorities in the UK to deploy this solution, one at a regional scale and one at a single corridor level. This solution differs from current bus priority, which is predicated on an onboard sensor on a bus communicating to on-street infrastructure. So if a bus is running late, it basically the sensor on the bus will ping to the on-street infrastructure saying, "I'm late, give me priority at this junction," and it will get a green light or a green wave through a series of junctions. This can sometimes be to the detriment of other buses on the network, or can sometimes lead to unwanted congestion. So the idea here is that it works in a similar way to incident detection. It identifies a late bus using live bus data. This might be what's called Siri data or ticketer data, which is used to identify the live location of a bus, compare it against the timetable as to where the bus should be, enabling identification of a late bus, or by identifying a bus that might become late, so taking its live position and then modeling it or simulating it through predicted traffic, and then comparing its predicted position against where it should be at that time. Once a bus is identified as late or potentially late, the system models bus reliability improvement plans using real-time and predicted traffic conditions, and this can do this on an area or a corridor level, so it can simulate the impacts of trying to get that bus on time against other buses, and also kind of wider traffic in the area. If an improvement is identified, then the response plan can be implemented again through communication to a traffic operator or a urban traffic management control system. Traffic digital twins can also be used to address traffic-related emissions. So here we deployed a digital shadow for national highways. It had digital twin capabilities, but because it was for research purposes, it was never actually connected to the real world to affect change in real time. This research was designed to demonstrate the potential benefits of digital twins to manage traffic emissions in Oxfordshire. So the digital shadow was connected to real-time traffic and emission sensors to enable accurate simulation of near real-time real-world traffic and air quality conditions. The solution gave short-term predictions for traffic flow and emissions up to 1 hour in advance, returning KPI data in around about 8 minutes. So wherever necessary, traffic managers used KPIs to hold traffic in areas which could withstand short-term pollution increases and create green waves through hotspot areas so that they could move traffic through, thereby reducing emissions in those areas. Drivers were informed, or would have theoretically be informed, of detours via mobile media and vehicle messaging systems. The impacts of this, or the results from this study, indicated that we would have successfully mitigated against air quality exceedances for 65% of the days where air pollution would have exceeded acceptable thresholds. So it would have yielded, it indicated that it would have yielded some fairly significant results in terms of managing air pollution, air quality in those areas. So just to kind of conclude then, where next? Well, we'll be beginning the 2 operational deployments of traffic digital twins in the UK for the purposes of bus reliability. Hope to have results within 6 to 12 months, hoping everything goes well. So we'll hopefully be able to come back and present those results. But really, to reap the full benefits of traffic digital twins, connections to other transport sector digital twins are required. These can really help in understanding travel behaviours between non-road based transport systems and the road environment. So helps us understand demand a bit better and understand how we can influence that and affect change. Key to that is harmonisation of the local and regional traffic digital twins, because we're seeing those pop up a lot in the UK. That's again just to make sure that we're understanding the full impacts of the road net of kind of adjacent road networks within local systems, because the transport system at the end of the day is interconnected and its impacts transcend geographical and political boundaries. And really, in terms of data, incorporating more floating vehicle data, such as from mobile devices or onboard systems, can only help really to improve offline and digital systems and to ensure that we better represent the demand and the origins and destinations of that traffic on the network. That's a bit of a whistle-stop tour of traffic digital twins. Thank you very much for your time.
So our first question here, Gavin, is for yourself. It says, Gavin, can you speak to the minimal level of digitalization needed in a traffic network for your system to work? There is obvious live gathering of information, but in order to implement systems / decisions and actions, other aspects of the traffic system must also be connected.
Okay, so currently the digital twins which we kind of implement or have implemented, they work off, as I say, the in-road loop data. And that tends to be infrastructure which is already present, doesn't need to be installed as part of this. Where there are gaps in the network, then there might need to be it might need to be enhanced with camera data, so using providers such as Vivacity cameras to enhance that data. In terms of equipping the system to affect change, we need a UTMC system or an urban traffic management control system or urban traffic control system to affect change, and that's a digital twin system effectively that can collect that data and can also affect signal timings at junctions, and can deploy messages via variable messaging systems. So it tends to be through those kind of systems which are already used within the network. There are obviously other ways that you could do that through GPS systems, navigation systems, in-car systems. But we tend to find it works fairly well with the existing systems on most networks, accepting that not all local authorities do have those. So there might be a small level of, there might be some investment that might be needed to realise the full benefits of digital twins.
Gavin, back to you if you could, please. Have you considered using the solution to support emergency vehicles attending a call that might get caught up in town traffic?
We've not actually had an application where we've used this, where we've kind of supported this, but it absolutely could be done. I think due to the nature of emergency vehicles and their needs, it would probably be best deployed in the form of giving them real-time, up-to-date routing information so that they can best plot their path through the system in an efficient manner. You absolutely could use it to affect to give them priority, but the nature of most emergency vehicles is that they have the blue lights so that they can skip junctions and anything which we might otherwise control for them in an emergency situation. So I think routing would probably be the best application in that circumstance.
And a follow-up question here is, does your twin cover active travel?
It does, to the extent that we can represent all active travel modes. Obviously, the data for active travel is usually lacking, and it requires cameras to kind of computer vision enabled cameras deployed out into the field to actually collect that data, because we know it's a significant issue in the transport sector that we don't have accurate and up-to-date count information for pedestrians and cyclists, which tend to be captured by manual counts. So people deployed into the field to take snapshots.
And maybe our last question here, Gavin, for yourself, is regarding the traffic digital twin. Are you saying that interoperability between these different twins is becoming an important aspect?
Yes, in short, to kind of model the impacts and control and kind of manage the transport sector better, we can always do with a better understanding of how the various systems within the transport sector interact and the demand between those. So better connection between those, between all of the digital twins within the transport sector, can only help to improve that.